Listen, Monk Mo gang, you know what's going on. Listen, bro, at the end of the day, you gotta start acting like you're the guy in a hypercar right now. And before I talk about that, listen, bro, I just posted on my post on a community post on YouTube. Corvette not only just dropped the ZR1X, but they're finna drop after that. They're dropping hypercars. Corvette is literally moving into the hypercar category after the ZR1X. This is what I'm telling dudes. Corvette is a supercar. Now, bro, I'm telling you, I heard they're dropping a XR, something like that. Listen, don't quote me for quote on it, but just go look at my community post. Bro, the new Corvettes after the ZR1X, bruh, it's gonna look like a futuristic Hot Wheel car. Bruh, those cars are probably gonna be worth 400K. Corvettes in a 400K range. At the end of the day, listen, Monk Mode will prepare you for the future hypercar driving. I repeat, Monk Mode will prepare you for future exotic hypercar driving. At the end of the day, you have to act as if you already are right now. You need to start dropping content. Listen, it's cool to be the loner. Yeah, you probably think, no, why it's not cool to hang out and smash all the chicks? Because that's not what a hypercar driver does. Listen, you have to mature to be in those type of cars. You need to be mature so you don't get Shannon Sharp. Because if you get Shannon Sharp when you driving those type of cars, you going back to the Hondas. I repeat, if you not mature when you driving those type of cars, listen, you're going back to the Hondas. At the end of the day, you got to understand, bro, you need to act like a supercar driver right now. It's cool to be the loner. Because what's going to happen is if you pull up in a Bugatti, if you pull up in a Ferrari LaFerrari, and you want to fit in, you're going to be around real wolves. You're going to be around real opportunists. They're going to get inside those hypercars, try to call they stick up brothers, they stick up boyfriends, their side pieces, their three boyfriends all together to come set you up. At the end of the day, you have to move solo dolo. These people are not going to be future hypercar owners. I repeat, these people are not going to be future hypercar owners, nor are they going to be future hypercar drivers. These people will always be the Honda drivers, the Mercedes Benz, the 3 Series BMW drivers. These people will join the lodge for 80K. You got to understand, we are going to be the future hypercar drivers if you stay consistent. Listen, if you stay consistent dropping content, at least 4 videos a day for 7 to 10 years straight, do you realize a new hypercar comes out every single year? So next year, it'll be hypercars that come out. Next year, they're going to have the year after that, they're going to have the 2027 Bugattis. The year after that, they're going to have the 2028 Bugattis, the 2029 Bugattis, the 2030 Ferraris. Bro, they just came out with a new Lamborghini. Literally, they just dropped a new Lamborghini. And dudes still want to be out here smashing chicks. Dudes still want to be around random women. Listen, Ron Wills, his content, he don't want you to ever grow up and turn into the future hypercar driver. He's talking about you need to learn how to talk to random women. Just start talking to random wolves. That's basically what he's saying. Just start talking to random opportunists. So when you do get the hypercar, guess what? They're going to set you up in that hypercar. You're not going to last. Listen, at the end of the day, listen, if you're a Bugatti driver, a future Bugatti driver, why are you around the 99%? Why are you trying to be around the 99%? Why are you having a hard time being alone? If you don't want to be alone, bro, you're going to be around real opportunists that are going to set you up real big time. At the end of the day, you're going to be around opportunistic women, a.k.a. wolves. They're going to get what you want you to marry them. As soon as you marry them or put that seed in them, they're going to run off with that seed and get the child support money. As soon as you marry them, they're going to divorce you. listen, like Birdman. They gonna divorce you like Dwight Howard. Then listen, we're not in the lodge, so you're gonna be screwed. It's gonna be over with. At the end of the day, you got to understand. If listen, the guy who owns Amazon, his divorce made his woman a billionaire. His ex-wife is a billionaire. Listen, you do not want to make these mistakes. At the end of the day, you got to start acting like that future exotic car driver right now. At the end of the day, it's all a mindset. If you become the multi-million-dollar mindset right now, if you have a multi-million-dollar mindset, you're going to be able to handle the multi-millions. If you have a $100 million mindset, you're going to be able to handle $100 million. Listen, God's delays are not God's denials. God is in your best interest. He wants you to be fully mature before he hands you the Bugatti Chiron. He wants you to be mature before you get that 2030 Lambo. At the end of the day, you don't want to get that 2030 Lambo and let other people and friends drive your new exotic Lambo because, the bro code, that's the wolf code. Listen, you got to understand, you will enjoy these things by yourself. At the end of the day, God's delays are not God's denials. He didn't give you the freaking mansion yet, because if you get the mansion, you're going to invite 30 Latinas over there. You're going to invite 30 melanated women over there to twerk and stink up your house. And then one of them going to slip on the floor. Then another one going to say, he touched me, he touched me, he touched me. Then you're going to go down. I repeat, you're going to go down. Listen, your attitude reflects your altitude. If you have a great attitude in life, a positive attitude, a resultful attitude in life, you're going to make absolutely great results in life. These people want you to be around random women at all times like Mr. Organic. Why would I pull up in this $400,000 exotic hypercar and put a random woman inside my car? That's just like those gold digger pranks. The women straight walk past them, but as soon as they go to the exotic hypercar, the women want to come right back. That's what you call an opportunist. AKA a wolf. She does not like you. She will take you down. Listen, we did not put in all of this work to get took down in a hypercar. What sense does that make? We did not drop all this content to make all these multi-millions of dollars, to make hundreds of millions of dollars, just to lose it all for an opportunistic person. Listen, at the end of the day, you got to understand. Listen, Monk Mode Gang, you know what's going on. Listen, bro, at the end of the day, you got to be a loner. Eagles fly alone. They're not going to have the purchase funds to purchase these vehicles. Only the Monk Mode people, only the people who stay disciplined, only the people who stayed away from the cat while everybody wanted to fit in, only the people who took life serious, grabbed life by the horns, instead of trying to be this fake alpha male. And we didn't have to be the bad boy. We were actually a nice guy because we're a man. We're not a boy. At the end of the day, we're not being a bad boy. If you were the bad boy with the hypercar, those same women that went past you in that prank video, in that gold digging prank, you gonna allow them and you gonna take them to the mansion. At the end of the day, Mr. Organic talking about he invite random baddies back to his mansion. Do they know how dangerous that is? At the end of the day, didn't Mr. Organic say that he had to fight off robbers and intruders? He had to protect himself from robbers and intruders through his mansion. How do you think they got the drop? Listen, when DDG got slapped one time, when those robbers broke inside a DDG mansion and slapped him and left, how do you think they got the drop? From one of those optimistic people, whether that was a male optimistic wolf or a female optimistic wolf. She probably had a bubble and they probably couldn't resist it. But guess what? You do not know these people and you invited them over to your luxury. At the end of the day, once you drive in hypercars, why would you go back to the hood and pull up? Now you got that new rapper that's signed to PRE. He on a wheelchair right now because he wanted to pull up back to the projects where they no longer like you anymore because now you in Lamborghinis. Now you driving Urus Performantes. You are not the same type of guy no more to the hood, bro. The hood does not love you. At the end of the day, these YNs, At the end of the day, they my friends. But at the end of the day, I love them. At the biggest distance, I will never go back to the hood. At the end of the day, I'm in a penthouse now. Why would I go to a hood party and tell all the baddies there, yeah, you want to come back to the penthouse, baby? I know these guys ain't taking care of you. That's you're asking to get robbed. At the end of the day, you have to listen. At the end of the day, if you're not messing with a humble woman wouldn't even be in those environments. I repeat, a humble woman wouldn't even be in those environments. At the end of the day, you got to understand. That's why my wife is going to be from overseas. At the end of the day, overseas, I'll order the hypercar, get it shipped over there. If they don't make it over there already, at the end of the day, Corvette is about to drop the futuristic Hot Wheels. I just told you in a few videos back, guys grew up playing with Hot Wheels. Now they not driving Hot Wheels. Well, now Corvette about to drop a freaking Hot Wheel. After the ZR1X, bruh, they are about to drop a hypercar. They about to drop hyper performance cars, race cars. I don't even think these will be street legal. At the end of the day, they talking about 2,000 horsepower. Bro, you know those cars are going to be worth $400K. They're going to be starting off at $400K. You got to understand. You playing with these cars, listen, if you go back to the projects, those type of cars, you going to get them bullet holes all through them. At the end of the day, these people ain't no love in these YN's hearts. You got to understand. The dude who was in Chicago, he just got deleted because he had jewelry on. He had a chain on and he had Versace glasses. Listen, if you got designer on, you need to be in the suburbs. Listen, I could wear Balenciagas over here. I could wear Versace glasses. I could wear Louis Vuitton glasses. I could wear glasses that cost $2,000 because I live in a penthouse. I am in the suburbs, the gated community. You literally can't get in this building if you don't. You literally can't get in this building if you don't. Listen, the app is on the phone. The key is on the phone. There's literally no key. As long as you got your phone, you can get in this building. It scans the bill. Listen, the phone scans the scanner. And they know if you live here through the scanner, through AI technology. The hood people, they can't get in this building if they wanted to break in. They got bulletproof glass windows in this building. Listen, you got to understand, this is where the hypercars got to be at. This is where the designer shades got to be at. This is where the designer shoes got to be at. Stop going. This is why you got to control your lust and control yourself and destroy your lust. Because if you don't destroy your lust, if you make enough money to get these new Lamborghinis that come out, listen, I'm telling you, these physically attractive people, peep the wordplay, these physically attractive women with bad insides, they will call they stick-up boyfriends to come take you down for everything. At the end of the day, we did not work this hard to get taken down for everything. We did not work this hard to go back to Chicago with Versace glasses on in a chain and get robbed and deleted in an alleyway. I will never pull up to Chicago with a Lambo or a Bugatti Chiron. I'm not going to Chicago. I'm not going to Atlanta. You can't pay me to go to Atlanta. You can't pay me to go to Chicago. I am on a generational run. I have no time for errors. At the end of the day, you got to understand. If you going on a generational run, bro, they keep dropping new supercars, new hypercars, new hyper performance race cars, and dudes is worried about body game to get the coochie. No, these muscles are for inspiration. The muscles, your body is a billboard business-wise. People not going to listen to you unless you got a body that's worth listening to, unless your body screams discipline. At the end of the day, especially if you melanated, your body need to scream straight discipline. If your body don't scream straight discipline, ain't nobody gonna listen to you. At the end of the day, you got to understand, Monk Mode Gang, you know what's going on. Listen, bro.